In this video, we're breaking down one of the most recognizable and misunderstood ways of speaking, the New York Latino accent, but with a special focus on Dominican and Puerto Rican communities.
PSA to all my followers or who everybody that sees my content. I do not mispronounce things on purpose. I promise. I am Dominican. Both parents are Dominican, born and raised in the Bronx, New York. So I have like a New Yorkin, Dominican, Spanish accent.
So in this video, we're going to discuss where the accent comes from, the language that shaped it, and some key pronunciation features so you can hear what actually makes this accent distinct. Let's get into it. Long before New York was New York, the land was home to native peoples. The languages didn't directly shape the New York Latino accent, but they're part of an erased backdrop of the city's history. Then, European colonization, especially by the Dutch and then the British, which lays the base for New York English today. At the same time, the transatlantic slave trade brought enslaved Africans whose languages and cultures heavily influenced what would become Black American English. In the 1800s and early 1900s, you also get huge waves of Irish, Italian, and Jewish immigration. These groups helped to shape what many people think of as the classic New York accent. So, by the time Caribbean Latinos arrive in big numbers, they're not inventing an accent on a blank slate. They're simply stepping into a city where a very distinctive, multi-ethnic New York English already exists. Fast forward, Puerto Ricans start coming to New York in big numbers in the mid-1900s, after the US took Puerto Rico in 1898 and made Puerto Ricans US citizens. A byproduct of that was huge migration in the 1940s to the 1970s, especially in East Harlem, aka El Barrio, the South Bronx, and parts of Brooklyn. Dominicans started to arrive later. The big wave starts in the 1960s, especially after the Trujillo dictatorship fails. Washington Heights and Upper Manhattan becomes a major Dominican center, along with parts of the Bronx and Queens. Now, later on, segregation and housing discrimination pushed these communities into specific neighborhoods. They live side by side with Black Americans, other Latinos, and working class white New Yorkers. Out of that contact between Caribbean Spanish, Black American English, and white New York English, you get the New York Latino accent. Now, with that historical context in mind, let's discuss some of the accent's main influences. So the first influence is an obvious one. It's Caribbean Spanish, particularly Dominican and Puerto Rican Spanish. You'll hear it with a fast syllable timed rhythm instead of a New York stress timed rhythm. What that means is each syllable is given fairly equal weight. Think about it like this: da 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 instead of da da da.
I remember when I was streaming like back in the day, because I've always been on and off. I never been to Twitch first. So I remember my little brother, like at that time was like 10 years old. He would come in, sock me. I said, damn, I'm on live. I'm thinking embarrassing, the chat going crazy. I said, you gotta show your life, bro. That's the whole point of, like, you feel me?
Also, in relation to Caribbean Spanish is the tendency to drop or soften a final consonant. Take a word like cansado, which means tired. You may hear cansao. Or a word like verdad, which means truth. You may hear verdad with a soft final D. Now, this is also used when they speak English. So take a word like told. You may hear do. So that D is softened and you don't really hear it.
Surprise. Surprise, they told me to text a celebrity. I knew you would.
Now, the second influence is also an obvious one, and it's classic New York English. You'll hear it with those vowel shifts, so coffee, coffee. Maybe not to that extent, but you will hear that slight vowel shift.
Because that was mad grimy. That wasn't I. Like, why would you talk about me? I thought we was friends. And now you out here in the streets talking about that I'm a thirst bucket.
But to be clear, this classic New York vowel shift isn't present in every Latino in New York, but it is something that you may hear, and it certainly influenced the accent in question today. Now, the third influence I'd like to discuss is Black American English. This one is clear to see. It's not unusual to hear a lot of Latinos in New York have that Black American vernacular, but with a slight twang, which obviously gives away the fact that they're Latino. Now, where you can really hear this influence is in the grammar patterns. You may hear things like we was, or they be, or I be, or we be, etc., etc. So now that we've discussed some of the accent's influences, let's discuss some key pronunciation features. The first, as alluded to earlier, is a fast syllable timed rhythm, not a stress timed one.
Puerto Ricans are coming for Radel Ortiz right now, man, because he was at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, man, and this lady walks up to him, man, and she's like trying to sell him like a Puerto Rican hat, man, and you see him giving her the hat back saying, we're not even Puerto Rican, he was with his mother.
Notice how you can hear a Caribbean Spanish flow with a machine gun-like syllable timed rhythm. Speaking of Spanish, that's a great segue into today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Decoded. Decoded is an online language school with live interactive classes taught by certified native level teachers. And that live part is key because you're not just consuming content, you're actively participating, speaking out loud, making mistakes, and getting corrected in real time. Classes are intentionally kept small, so you're not invisible, and you actually get personal feedback. Another big thing is accountability. Because classes are scheduled and live, you show up, you participate, and you stay consistent, which is honestly where most people fall off when learning a language. Lingoda also gives you access to their app and self-study area, where you can review lessons, do practice exercises, and reinforce what you've learned. You can take classes in English, Spanish, French, German, and Italian, so whether you're learning for travel, work, or personal growth, there's a clear path. What I appreciate most is that Lingoda focuses on real communication. You're not just learning rules, you're learning how people actually speak. In fact, I've been using it to brush up on my Spanish. And honestly, it's a nice environment to be in when you're learning with a small group of people at a similar level, so the focus isn't always on you. Now, if learning a new language has been on your list for a long time, this is honestly one of the easiest ways to start without overthinking it. Right now, you can use my code Patricio30, which I'll put on screen and link down in the description below, for up to 30% off Lingoda Flex during this campaign. But don't wait around, because this offer is for a limited time only. Now, the second feature we're going to discuss is melodic intonation and a high pitch range. You'll often hear more pitch movement, especially on the last word of a sentence.
Yeah.
What's the loudest thing in a Puerto Rican crib besides a chancleta flying? Don't lie, too.
My mother.
Your mother?
My mother.
Why she so loud?
The loudest thing in my crib is my mother.
Why
Word
though?
to everything. It's my mother in Puerto Rican. That's how we talk. We talk loud. That's how
So
we talk
let me ask
naturally.
this, right?
Yeah.
So why when Puerto Ricans get mad, they be speaking Spanglish, Spanish and English?
That's how you gotta do it. We can't communicate. We don't know what to say for real. So we gotta mix a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of English together. That's how we do it.
The third feature is that vowel shift in words like thought and coffee. As mentioned earlier, it may not be as strong as a classic New York accent, but you will hear that undertone somewhere.
Come with me to the DR parade. Why we got there at 11? Pa qué fue eso? Walking with my aunt's group. While waiting, why did I see my other aunt? I told her I can't be seen with her because she want to be with politicos. Then look who else I saw. The consulate.
The fourth feature is a unique R sound. Depending on age and social group, R can be fully pronounced with words like car and hard.
Why do Puerto Ricans, right, when they get mad, they be speaking in Spanish and English?
Because I don't think you heard me when I said it.
Oh,
You ain't hear me when I said it in English, so I'm gonna say it in Spanish.
Word to mommy. So word to mommy is word, like, it's like, I swear to my mom, I swear.
What would be interesting to know is what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Have you heard this or am I bugging? Let me know. Whilst there, if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, I'm going to launch a newsletter shortly. Feel free to sign up to it down in the description. On the newsletter, I'll be discussing language, accents, and culture on a weekly basis. I'm going to be discussing some things that I can't really talk about on YouTube, but if you'd like to know more about these topics, then feel free to sign up to my newsletter. Now, the fifth feature is that dental T or D. Take a word like situation. It's not unusual to hear a Latino from New York say situation.
So let's talk about the whole Desmond and Christy Scott situation.
See how these results came out. Hey, I'm not mad at it. It looks like I just got my blowout done today and it was last night.
The sixth feature is swapping out the TH for a D or a T. Now look, this feature is a nightmare for many non-English speakers and for many English speakers. Let me be honest with you, I don't always pronounce my THs. Sometimes I swap it out for a D, sometimes I swap it out for a T, sometimes even I swap it out for a V. This isn't really true for Americans, but in Britain, we might say something like brother instead of brother.
Some girls just really want to eat. Can you believe that? They just want to eat. They just know they were born
To eat.
to eat. I swear to God, it's a weird science. I don't understand it because I never knew, but it's the truth.
The seventh feature is dropping the final consonant or weakening the final consonant. Take a word like just, you may hear just. Or take a word like cold, you may hear cold. Or take a word like best, you may hear best.
No. Whoa. I want to get started on a different note today, man. I'm going to start on a low note. We're going to start off low. Aquí abajo. Abajo, aquí. Comenzar suave. My father told me, I want you to start soft tonight. Because I'm very aggressive. I'm from the Bronx, New York. Thank you. We got Bronx in the house, or y'all just saying that?
The eighth feature is a shorter diphthong when I is in the middle of a word. Take a word like time or like. The I in the middle would often be shortened.
He's somebody that's like one of my mentors. He's helped me so much, bro. And he's somebody that's been doing comedy for a long time. But these are actual guys that like you feel like they're happy for you.
The ninth feature is slang shared with Black American English speakers. You'll hear things like mad, OD, brick, deadass, wildin'. These are all things that are also used by Black American English speakers who live in New York.
Bro, we done had a precinct on the block before coming ATL like, yo, y'all wildin', cause the neighbors there in the other house, they was doing crazy. A lot of neighbors would walk down a driveway, private property.
Right.
You feel me? I remember when I first opened the door the first ever time, they kept asking me like who, like they didn't believe that I lived there.
I just be looking at myself like, yo, I really got a mustache. It's crazy. I got a mustache. But.
And the 10th feature, which is a dead giveaway, is the effortless code switching between Spanish and English. Now look, I'm not saying that all New York Latinos speak Spanish. I know all too well that there are many New York Latinos who are gringo as hell. With that being said, it's not uncommon to hear things like pero like, fuego, or diablo. Vamos a ver unos clips para que me entienda mejor.
It's like you're free when you're there, right?
You know what? I got a good one.
What?
Presidente.
Oh, vestida y novia.
Yes, exactamente.
Una presidente jumbo.
Es jumbo.
Because you can't find that here.
When they bring presidente, I think they tone down the alcohol content and stuff like that.
It doesn't taste the same.
It doesn't taste the same.
What's crazy is that I don't drink presidentes here in the United States. I drink Coronas. But in DR, I don't want anything but a presidente.
Me too.
And it's true. I love Puerto Ricans. I love them. And Dominicans. I love Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Like, please, may that love forever find me. I love them crazy. I love them. They're just evil as Pero que coño.
Now, to be clear, not all Dominicans or Puerto Ricans in New York sound the same. How they sound will depend on context, educational level, and of course, their age. What would be interesting to know is what you guys think about the accent discussed in this video down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it to somebody else who may find it useful. I'm going to link all my other accent explained videos up here. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you in the next one. Peace.